TV soap news and spoilers say that in the quiet, unassuming town of Willow Creek, where whispers travel faster than the wind and secrets lurk behind every closed door, a story unfolded that would grip the community in a web of intrigue and speculation. At the heart of this tale was Andre, a man whose enigmatic presence had long puzzled those around him. Known for his reserved demeanor and fleeting appearances at local gatherings, Andre was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, his life a shadowed canvas that few could claim to understand. But when Bill, a local journalist with a nose for untold stories, stumbled upon a revelation that would unravel the fabric of Andre's carefully guarded existence, the town would never be the same. This is the story of Andre's secret, a narrative that weaves through love, deception, and the relentless pursuit of truth, as uncovered in the dramatic investigation chronicled in Beyond the Gates. The spark of suspicion. It all began on a crisp autumn evening, when the amber leaves of Willow Creek's ancient oaks carpeted the cobblestone streets, and the air carried the faint scent of wood smoke. Bill, a seasoned reporter for the Willow Creek Chronicle, was known for his tenacity and his ability to unearth stories that others overlooked. His latest fixation was Andre, a man who had arrived in town 5 years prior under circumstances as mysterious as the fog that often cloaked the nearby river. Andre was charming yet distant, his smile warm but his eyes guarded, as if they held a story he dared not share. The first clue to Andre's secret came unexpectedly during a chance encounter at the annual Harvest Festival. Bill, sipping cider under the glow of fairy lights, overheard a hushed conversation between Andre and Danny, a local florist known for her radiant smile and gentle disposition. Their words were fleeting, but the intimacy in their tone was unmistakable. Bill's curiosity was piqued when he later learned from a mutual acquaintance that Danny and Andre were married, a fact that Andre had never publicly acknowledged. The revelation was a spark in Bill's mind, igniting a fire of questions. Why had Andre kept his marriage a secret? What else was he hiding? Determined to uncover the truth, Bill enlisted the help of a private detective, a grizzled veteran named Marcus, whose reputation for discretion was matched only by his skill in uncovering hidden truths. The investigation begins. Marcus began his investigation with the meticulous precision of a man who had spent decades peeling back the layers of human deception. He combed through public records, interviewed neighbors under the guise of casual conversation, and even tailed Andre on his early morning walks through the town's quiet streets. At first, the investigation yielded little more than mundane details. Andre worked as a freelance graphic designer, kept to himself, and was rarely seen without his signature leather jacket. But as Marcus dug deeper, inconsistencies began to emerge, like cracks in a carefully constructed facade. One evening, as Bill and Marcus reviewed the case over coffee at the town's only diner, a new piece of the puzzle surfaced. Keegan, a young intern at the Chronicle with a knack for noticing details others missed, had been tasked with sorting through old photographs from the town's archives. As he flipped through a stack of images from the previous year's Harvest Festival, Keegan's brow furrowed. "Bill," he said, his voice tinged with unease, "have you noticed that Andre's nowhere in these photos? He was at the festival, I remember seeing him, but it's like he vanished from every single shot." The observation was chilling. Bill's mind raced as he considered the implications. Was Andre deliberately avoiding the camera, or was something more sinister at play? The question hung in the air like a storm cloud, heavy with foreboding. Bill instructed Marcus to press on with the investigation, urging him to follow every lead, no matter how small. "There's something here," Bill said, his voice low and resolute. "Something big." A web of questions. As the investigation deepened, the mystery surrounding Andre grew more complex. Marcus uncovered a series of puzzling details that only added to the enigma. Andre's digital footprint was curiously sparse. His social media accounts were bare, with no posts predating his arrival in Willow Creek. His professional website, while polished, contained no personal information, and his clients were all based out of state, communicating solely through email. It was as if Andre had meticulously erased any trace of his life before Willow Creek. The most perplexing discovery came when Marcus tracked down a former landlord from a neighboring town. The landlord, a gruff man with a penchant for storytelling, recalled Andre as a tenant who paid his rent in cash and kept to himself. He was a ghost, the landlord said, his eyes narrowing as he spoke. Always looking over his shoulder, like he was expecting someone to come for him. When pressed for more details, the landlord mentioned a woman who occasionally visited Andre, a woman who matched Danny's description. But there was something else. The landlord swore he'd once seen Andre with a young child, a boy no older than 5, though Andre had never mentioned having a family. The revelation sent shockwaves through Bill's investigation. Did Andre have a child? Was his marriage to Danny more than just a hidden romance? The possibility that Andre was concealing not just a wife but an entire family added a new layer of urgency to the investigation. Bill's mind churned with possibilities, each more dramatic than the last. Was Andre on the run from a troubled past? Was he protecting his family from some unseen danger? Or was there a darker truth lurking beneath the surface? The turning point. Weeks turned into months, and the investigation grew more intense. Marcus's reports became a daily ritual for Bill, each one bringing new questions and fewer answers. One evening, as the first snow of winter blanketed Willow Creek, Marcus called Bill with a breakthrough. He had uncovered a sealed court document from a small town 3 states away, dated 6 years prior. The document was heavily redacted, but it mentioned Andre by name and referenced a custody dispute involving a minor child. The details were scarce, but the implications were staggering. Andre had a son, and for reasons unknown, he had fought to keep that fact hidden. Bill's heart pounded as he processed the information. The pieces of the puzzle were beginning to fit together, but the picture they formed was far from clear. Why had Andre fled to Willow Creek? What had happened to his son? And where did Danny fit into this tangled web? Determined to confront Andre, Bill arranged a meeting at a quiet cafe on the edge of town. He prepared a list of questions, each one carefully crafted to elicit the truth without revealing the full extent of his knowledge. The meeting was tense from the start. Andre arrived late, his leather jacket zipped tightly against the cold, his eyes scanning the room as if searching for an escape. Bill began with small talk, easing into the conversation with questions about Andre's work and his life in Willow Creek. But when Bill mentioned the photographs from the Harvest Festival, and Keegan's observation about Andre's absence, Andre's demeanor shifted. His smile vanished, replaced by a steely gaze that sent a chill down Bill's spine. "I don't know what you're getting at," Andre said, his voice low and controlled. "But I'd appreciate it if you'd stop digging into my life." The words were polite, but the warning was clear. Bill pressed on, mentioning the court document and the possibility of a child. For a moment, Andre's facade cracked, his hands trembling slightly as he gripped his coffee mug. But he quickly regained his composure, standing abruptly and leaving without another word. The truth unraveled. The confrontation only fueled Bill's determination. He knew he was close to uncovering Andre's secret, but he also knew the risks. Andre's reaction suggested that the truth was not only personal but potentially dangerous. Bill instructed Marcus to focus on Danny, hoping she might hold the key to unlocking the mystery. What they discovered was both heartbreaking and illuminating. Danny, it turned out, was not just Andre's wife but his confidant in a life marked by loss and sacrifice. Through a series of discreet interviews with Danny's close friends, Marcus learned that she and Andre had indeed been married for nearly a decade, their bond forged in the crucible of a shared tragedy. Their son, Liam, had been born 7 years prior, but he had vanished from their lives under circumstances that Danny refused to discuss. Some whispered of a custody battle gone wrong, others speculated about a more sinister fate. Whatever the truth, it had driven Andre and Danny to Willow Creek, where they hoped to start anew, free from the shadows of their past. But the past, as it often does, refused to stay buried. Marcus uncovered a final piece of evidence, a letter, hidden in a safety deposit box under Danny's name, addressed to Andre. The letter was written by Danny's sister, who had been caring for Liam in secret. It revealed that Andre had relinquished custody of his son to protect him from a dangerous figure from his past, a figure whose identity remained elusive but whose influence had forced Andre to live in the shadows, always one step ahead of discovery. The aftermath. As the truth came to light, Bill faced a moral dilemma. Should he publish the story, exposing Andre's secret to the world and potentially endangering the family he had fought so hard to protect? Or should he respect Andre's privacy, allowing him and Danny to continue their quiet life in Willow Creek? The decision weighed heavily on Bill's conscience, but in the end, he chose compassion over sensationalism. He met with Andre and Danny one final time, not as a journalist but as a neighbor, offering his silence in exchange for their trust. Andre's story, though never published, became a quiet legend in Willow Creek, a reminder that even the most ordinary lives can hide extraordinary secrets. The town learned to look at Andre not as a mystery but as a man carrying the weight of a past he could not escape. And Bill, forever changed by the experience, continued his work at the Chronicle, his pen now guided by a deeper understanding of the human heart. In the end, Beyond the Gates was more than a story of investigation. It was a testament to the power of secrets, the resilience of love, and the courage it takes to face the truth, no matter how painful. As the seasons changed and Willow Creek moved on, Andre's secret remained safe, a silent promise kept in the heart of a town that had learned to listen to the whispers of its own. Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Beyond the Gates updates and news, so subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.